Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back at reviewing beauty salons. This time I'm going to compare two very luxurious and very expensive beauty salons in Vienna. So place your bets. Who is gonna win today? Here on the left side we have Max, a Russian and Ukrainian speaking beauty salon which presents itself as very high quality, top experts and very expensive prices. Beauty salon which I found from continuous ads on Instagram as well as from a Russian speaking blogger which is pretty famous among Russian speaking and Ukrainian speaking community, and I decided to test it myself. And here on the right side we have the XX Beauty Salon which I found from the ads on Instagram as well. They also post a lot of ads and they promote their beauty salon very vigorously. So yeah, here are the two competitors for today, and yeah, place your bets. Let's see who wins. To be more specific in our little competition, we are going to be basing our judgment on three important qualities. Number one, hygiene. Number two, hospitality. And number three, the final result. And also before we begin, I would be really glad if you guys subscribe to the channel, leave me a like and write me a comment. So let's start with our victim number one.
Round one.
If we open their Instagram, you can see all the information that they offer, all the services, and also how they're done. And in general, it looks very pretty and very promising. If we go to their reviews on Google Maps, the general score is 4.7, which is not bad for Vienna. It's not the best because people in Vienna are very generous about their review score. Perfect as always, very fast and high quality, absolutely impeccable experience. The level of service was truly outstanding, refined, attentive, and of the highest quality. But I'm gonna tell you about my experience in this beauty salon and we're gonna give it our own score. I want to start off my story about how I went to Max with the fact that I was very excited to go there. I had very high expectations and I needed a quite simple haircut. My hair is long and it was long and I wanted to keep it that way. I just wanted to add some layers to, in a way, add more volume and to just have something more interesting rather than just long hair like with the same length everywhere, you know? I just wanted something interesting. And quite frankly, I booked a haircut service at this salon, not for a video. I genuinely needed a haircut. So my expectations were really high because the blogger who advertised this salon, and I see he's in Vienna and he goes to this beauty salon, which I've been actually looking at for quite a long time. It's been popping out for me on Instagram quite often. I see a blogger who I watch go there. The result is great. I liked how it turned out for him and I book my hairstyle. To do a haircut for women costs 130 euros. Which is not cheap at all for Vienna as well. On the day of my appointment, which I booked for 2 p.m, I arrived maybe like 5 minutes earlier. I walk in. I'm pretty excited. I'm being greeted by the staff. Everything's good. They offer me something to drink and I go to the waiting area. The waiting area looks very beautiful. Well, the couches are not very comfortable to sit on. Pretty, but not comfortable. And I also spot a food menu on the table at the waiting area. I want to check it out. And I see that they also offer a lot of different snacks. I'm not gonna say it's like full dishes, but like snacks. However, one thing that you might be questioning already as well is why is it not in German? All the menus that were on the table are only in Russian, which was already quite a red flag. Not because I'm against Russian language or anything. I mean, that's my mother tongue, obviously, like nothing against it. But in the case of a beauty salon which is located in Vienna, which is a German-speaking city, I feel like it's very important to have a German or at least English menu too. Do not discard the Russian menu, just add English menu or maybe German menu to the options of the menus because it just looks a little weird, as if you're expecting only one type of clients but not the other. Being in a German-speaking country, like, come on. I was impressed by the thing that they offer snacks and the menu looks pretty, but I was disappointed by the fact that they only have Russian language on the for the menus. Like, it's just a little, like, I don't know, weird. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Maybe it's only weird for me, but... So I'm sitting there waiting, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's already 2:20, and my coffee is not here yet. And when I entered, I was asked whether I want something to drink, and I ordered a cappuccino, simple cappuccino. And neither I'm being taken to my appointment, nor I am being given my long-awaited cappuccino. I don't want to sound like posh and, you know, like arrogant and everything. It's just for 130 euros. Something is wrong here. I've been waiting for 20 minutes already since the time of my appointment. I continued to wait for another 20 minutes. So in total, I waited for 40 minutes on this uncomfortable couch. And only after 40 minutes of me waiting, a lady comes up to me. No greeting, no word about who she is. I'm just like sitting there, and for me, it's like a random woman approaches me and really quietly, almost like whispering, tells me, we're gonna take you to hair care right now. And they have other services for hair, and one of them is like Japanese hair care, which is also ranked into 3 different options depending on the price. And she tells me like, we're gonna take you to your hair care right now. And I'm like, I didn't book a hair care, I booked a haircut. And she goes like, oh, this is just a gift from our salon because we made you wait for such a long time. And I'm like, oh, all right, thank you. So that was for free. In this case, I really want to say that I was very thankful that they acknowledged the fact that I waited for 40 minutes. But on the other hand, it's just the way I was told that they're gonna gift me this service. Is like, for me, a random lady approaches me and she starts almost whispering about a service which I didn't book, so I have like no idea what's going on. And I only had to like guess like what's happening and what's happening right now. But I didn't take it as a red flag. It's just, you know, step by step, we are coming to this peak performance, peak experience that I got from a 130 haircut. So I've been taken to this separate room where they do their hair care. I'm being told to lie down in this seat, which was very comfortable, very soft. So it's not like a normal seat where you get your hair washed. It's adjustable, so they basically placed me in a position where I could lie down, and so my head is not like this, you know, it doesn't hurt. They also gave me like a small pillow for the neck, so the neck doesn't hurt, and it was very nice. It was very nice. The lady who called me to do this service, to do this treatment, she starts applying stuff to my hair, however in silence. So I'm like, no idea what's happening to my hair. And I told her that I've never had this kind of a procedure before. So I thought that it would be very nice if she would initiate a conversation not a conversation, but like initiate an explanation of what's going on. What is she applying? What is it for? At least like, what is she applying? Because the client needs to know what is being applied to their hair or to them. So she silently applies the product, and I'm like still waiting for her to like start talking. She doesn't, so I go like, what are we doing right now? So I start asking like, what is that? What are we doing? What are we gonna do next? Because I need to know, not for the video, for myself. Like, I really wanted to know for myself what's going on. And she starts explaining, but like in a very, I'm not gonna say annoyed manner. She wasn't annoyed, but she was like tired, you know, as if she just didn't want to be here. So I had to like really push her to tell me what is being applied to my hair, what are we doing. And while she was doing the treatment, she constantly got distracted by like, I don't know, some other stuff. So she like gets distracted, like stops explaining to me, then goes somewhere and then comes back, and then silence again, and then I have to ask again. Because it's not just like one sentence of explaining what she's doing. The treatment consists of steps, specific steps, and all of them are important. And yeah, I just wanted to know what the fuck is going on with my hair. Not just out of curiosity or concern for the health of my hair, but also because after they apply a product, they put on a really funny thing on my head, which looks like Thomas the Train. Like, this was just hilarious. I was so sad that I was alone there. I wanted like someone to be around so that we could like laugh together. Oh, and when she put it on my head, she didn't tell me what it is. So I had to like ask her like, what the fuck is that? So, and she was like, oh, this is just for your like cuticles of your hair to like open up and absorb the product better. But like, again, I had to ask her to explain to me what's going on. If I wouldn't have asked, nobody would tell me like, why would they put the funny ass hat on my head? Like, okay. Like, oh, and while I was laying down in that bathtub for my hair, there was a TV on the ceiling where they just had this AI generated fashion show, which is like, I don't know, like 6 seconds or like 10 seconds long, and then it just like loops all the time. So like the picture doesn't really change. It's just like a 10-second video which just keeps looping. Yeah. While I'm still in that bathtub, the lady who was doing the treatment, she decided to tell me a secret of why my appointment was delayed and why I'm getting this another treatment for my hair as a gift. I didn't ask for that information, and I don't think that the client needs to know this kind of information. So first, the lady asks me, do you specifically want to have the appointment with the hairstylist who you booked online, or is it okay if we give you to another professional? And I'm like, I don't mind. I'm here for the first time. I was there actually for the first time, so I really didn't mind. And then she goes like, yeah, because apparently the hairstylist who you booked the appointment with, she also has her own clients who book their appointments on the phone, like via text. So there has been a little miscommunication, and she had another client booked for your time, and she's with that client right now, so we kind of got confused who to give you to. And I'm like, all right. And I'm already in that bathtub, just don't forget that. So I'm like, my hair is wet, I'm already like in the process, so I can't really like stand up and leave. I also didn't want to stand up and leave because I genuinely needed a haircut, because after the appointment I wasn't going home, I was going to meet up with my friends. So I had plans. I really had plans for the day. So I'm like, okay. And I'm just confused. And then she's like, is it okay if we give you to another professional? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then she just like calls a guy who's like walking around there. I mean, he's also a hairstylist. And she's like, oh, can you take the client? He doesn't answer. He just like comes up and he starts like looking at me. And I'm like this, you know, laying down with my hair, with my head in the bathtub. And he's like, okay, all right, I'll take the client. What the fuck, bro? 130 euros for a haircut. He doesn't say hello to me. He doesn't tell me like who he is, because you know, for this price, how it usually happens in such beauty salons. Maybe you think that I'm being like picky and arrogant, but no. In this case, for such a price, for such an image of a beauty salon, what the professionals do when they approach a client for the first time, they're like, hello, my name is this, I will be your hairstylist for today. How I know this is because in any service industry, restaurants, beauty salons, hotels, if you're aiming for a luxurious and very, you know, like high quality, top experience industry level, you always approach people not just like, hey, like, what the fuck are you? No, you introduce yourself, you make everything clear, like what's going on. So I expected at least that. But how he greeted me is the lady just goes away, he sits in her spot, and he grabs my hair with his hands and like starts massaging my head. And before that, the lady was doing that, and he just like switches with her in silence. I have like no idea what's going on. I just feel like the men's hands in my hair, in my head, and I'm like, bruh, what the fuck? And I instantly go numb. I go numb because I used to be like afraid of men for a reason. Not like everyone, but like the people who I didn't know, I was always like very cautious. Now I can see that I'm okay. I'm not that afraid, but before it was like really a disaster. But I still, because you know, like because I had this experience, I just didn't like, I went like numb. I went numb. It's very hard to explain. I'll probably make a separate video about this, but anyway, just bear in mind that this is how he greets his client, me. So I'm like, hello, and only then he goes like, hello, what are we doing today? And I try to explain to him while being in this kind of a position, and my head is still in this stupid ass bathtub, and I'm trying to explain what I want, and I'm telling him that I want like layers, and he's just like, okay. After that, he tells me that he wraps a towel around my head and tells me where to go. So he's like, yeah, we're gonna be at that corner where his place is. I'm like, all right. So I walk there, walking into like nothingness because I wasn't quite sure where to go because there were like 3 chairs there and I wasn't sure which one he meant, but anyway. So I sit down, he comes up, and this is where the most like filthy and unprofessional and disastrous part comes in. So he asks me again what I want, and I tell him that I want layers. I want to save the length of my hair as much as possible, like just like trim the ends, but also add layers to my hair. And he, with his very disappointed facial expression, is like, well, that's not really gonna fit you. And I'm like, okay. And I asked him to give me alternatives then. He's like, if I were you, I would just like cut your hair short. And I was like, the fuck? And then he goes like, but you're this type of like Rapunzel girl who is not giving up their hair. And he said it in a very arrogant way, and I was like, alright, Mr. Long Hair Hater. Well, I want to leave my hair long, so can we do that? But what I do is I ask him why would he cut my hair short, thinking that he would give me some good advice. And he goes, okay, stand up. And I'm like, okay. So I stand up, he takes this thing off, the thing which like covers your clothes while you do your haircut. He takes this off. And he's like, well, you know, when your hair is up to your waist, and when he says waist, he literally like grabs my waist, like not like fully grabs, but like, like this. It goes like this. Like, so like I go numb and I just like move. The only thing I can do, I was like, I just like moved away, and then he starts following me, like he doesn't want to let go, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Put your filthy ass hands away from me. I thought he was just like unprofessional, and for him, like he just didn't understand that it's like not normal to touch people, especially like that. So I just moved away. I tried to close my eyes to this situation, and he does it fucking again, just like on the waist, but like where my back is, you know? And I'm like, can you not touch me? And I moved again away, and he didn't get it, and I was like, don't touch me. He didn't say sorry, he didn't like acknowledge the fact that he just fucked up. Yeah, so we didn't come to a consensus, we didn't come to a compromise. So I was just like, so yeah, we can just like trim the ends and maybe do a little layering if that's okay. Because I wanted like for them to start like here and like go like down, down, down. And he was like, I can do it like starting from here. And I was like, okay, let's just do that then. But it wasn't what I wanted really. So he starts doing that, and he takes the straightener, the hair straightener, and he starts straightening my hair before cutting. I know that different hairstylists have different techniques. I just didn't really get what this technique was about, but I don't usually use a straightener for my hair because I don't want to damage my hair too much. I already use a hair dryer, so that's enough damage for the hair. But anyway, he starts straightening my hair and cutting it meanwhile. So the end result turned out me having no volume in my hair, like just like straight hair, trimmed ends, and like weird length at the front, and at the back it's like long. So it was like, I'm not gonna say a mess, it was like fine. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. But the price was $130, like, sorry, euros. Let's not forget that. For 130 euros, you expect something more extraordinary. But this is just like, fine. It's like, fine. It didn't give me a discount, even though that's not what I asked for. I left the salon very upset, spending 3 hours. The hair care was actually nice. My hair was very soft afterwards, but again, that was a gift, and because I waited for 40 minutes. But the final result of the haircut was not what I expected. After my story, let's finally rate this beauty salon, because this is what we came here for. The hygiene stuff. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Not gonna lie, everything was super clean. The bathroom was clean, the brushes were clean. During the hair cutting, the guy, he accidentally dropped the brush, and instead of like picking it up from the floor, he took another clean brush. And I noticed that, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice, that's nice. Hospitality, well, 3 out of 10. Why 3? Yeah, they like offer you something to drink, they have like the food menu and everything. The waiting area for the clients looks nice and clean, but the rest is a disaster. At least that's how it was for me. The atmosphere that I sensed is as if nobody wants to be there. Everyone is just like being forced to do their job, and I'm like, not welcome at all. The final result, well, a 4 out of 10. Well, my hair wasn't ruined. My hair length was saved. And I mean, it didn't look bad. It looked okay, it looked fine, as I already said. But it doesn't really, it's not worth the price. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. I will continue with the next beauty salon in part 2. And for now, we're gonna finish here. I'm very happy that you guys watched this video till the end. Would be really happy if you guys leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will be waiting for you in part 2, where we talk about the next competitor. Anyway, have a good day and see you next time. Bye bye.